it's Jen from Jen's Extraordinary Life, and today we are going to make some crock pot chicken parmesan. Now, traditionally, this is something that you would make in the oven, but we're gonna make it super easy today because I don't know about you, but I'm busy and sometimes I don't have all day to spend in the kitchen. So I'm gonna get it started this morning and then it'll be ready when it's time for supper. So a few things that you're going to need for this recipe, some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and I buy it frozen and pull out what I need. There happen to be 2 pieces left in this bag that I thawed yesterday. And there's just 2 of us eating it tonight, so it works out perfectly. You're going to need some eggs and Italian breadcrumbs. I use the Italian. You don't have to use Italian. If you prefer just the panko style or whatever, you do you. I like the Italian, and I just put enough in my little dredging pans to cover 2 chicken breasts, but you can add more if you need it. You're going to need some milk to go with your egg because you're gonna need that in the egg wash. You'll need a little bit of vegetable oil too, because we are gonna pan fry these chickens just to get that coat. We're not cooking them on the stove. We're just gonna get that nice crusty outside, and then we're gonna pop them in the crock pot. Some spices that you're gonna need: oregano, some Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, and basil leaves. So those are your spices. You can see that I've already lined my pan with these slow cooker liners. So you can do that. If you don't want to, you could just spray it with Pam. And then you're going to need your red sauce of choice. We're making this easy, so you can make it yourself, but why when they already do that for us at the store? And if you're trying to save time, go for it. Now, we like this Classico a lot for chicken parmesan. We like the 4 cheese. You could get just marinara or whatever you like. So I'm gonna go ahead and get us started here. And you're just going to pour that sauce, that red sauce, in the bottom. All right, so we've got our sauce in the bottom there. I've got an egg here that is from my sister's chickens, and you may know her. She's Natalie from All the Things, and she's awesome. She's my hero and my baby sister, and she does all the things. So if you haven't checked out her channel, go do it. But this is one of her eggs. I think I'm only gonna need 1 egg for this recipe. So this is a fresh egg, so you do wanna make sure you wash your egg first before you put it in. I'm gonna whip this egg up with a fork. You could use a whisk. You do whatever you wanna do. I am using the yolk and the white. Some people just use the white. Again, do what you do. It's just gonna be a coating. I'm gonna put a little bit of milk in it. I don't know, that's probably about 1/4 cup. Till it looks good. I'm just doing an egg and milk wash for this. I went ahead and heated up my pan on the stove. And then I'm going to take my seasonings and add them to this Italian seasoning. Now you're gonna need about 1/2 teaspoon, and then I'm just gonna sprinkle a little in here because, again, we're only doing 2 of these tonight, 2 breasts tonight. I'm gonna put some oregano, probably about 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. And some basil. Then you're just gonna take it and mix all of those up. Just to get all of those spices spread around. Now, this is the Italian seasoning, or seasoned breadcrumb, so it's already got a little bit of that in it. But, you know, I'm extra. All right, now I did not mention earlier that one of the things you're going to need is Parmesan And another thing that you're going to need is mozzarella cheese. Now you could put a different kind of cheese on the top. My family loves mozzarella, so that's what we use. I'm gonna move these over here so you can watch me put these in the pan. All right, so I just put a little bit of vegetable oil in the pan now. Y'all are gonna get on to me and say, why don't you use olive oil or whatever? And the reason that I don't is because vegetable oil can handle a little bit higher heat, and I'm just doing the outsides of these, so I'm gonna put it on medium-high heat. And then I've got my 2 chicken breasts. Make sure that I get both sides good and coated in the egg wash. And then I'm going to dip it into my breadcrumbs, and I'm going to make sure that they are nice and coated evenly on each side. And then I'm just going to pop it into my pan that's already been heating up. You can hear that sizzle just a little bit. You don't want it too much. Again, we're only cooking the outside of this just to get that nice crust. So it's just going to be about 1.5 minutes on each side, because it's going to cook the rest of the way in your crock pot all day long. I've got my chicken here. The outside is nice and crusted. I have pulled it off of the stove. I've got my crock pot on low. And I am just going to lay my 2 chickens right on top of that sauce, just like that. I'm gonna not waste a single bit of this breading. I'm gonna put it back, pop it in there where my tongs took it off. And I'm gonna let that sit and cook for about 6 hours, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna top it with mozzarella cheese and let that melt all over it for like the last half hour. And during that time, I will make the stuff that's going with it. So in the, about half hour before it's done, I am going to, we love these Cheddar Bay biscuits. So I recently discovered that instead of having to actually mix them up from a box, which is what I used to do, that you can buy them frozen and pop out however many you want and just cook them in the oven. And so these need to bake, let's see what it says, about 25 minutes. So that's perfect. When I put my cheese on to melt in that last 30 minutes, I will pop these in the oven and cook those. And then while that's cooking, I'm also gonna put my pasta on it because I'm gonna serve this on top of pasta. Now I got something new that I'm gonna try. And this is spaghetti made from chickpeas. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I'll let you guys know. The reason that I got it is because, do you see all of that protein? And I've been on a mission to try to heal from some past surgeries and also lose some weight, and I've been doing great, but one of the things that I need is protein, and this is packed full of it. And I figured if all that stuff's gonna be on top of it, I need a little bit of spaghetti. I probably won't even know that it's not regular spaghetti, so we're gonna try the chickpeas. And then usually I'll serve this with a green salad. So that's what I'm gonna come back and do. So you'll need mozzarella cheese when I come back, and we'll put all those elements in, and then I'll bring it back together and show you what the finished product looks like. But in the meantime, let's put this lid on our chicken and let that cook. I've got it set to low, and we're just gonna let that cook for about 5 or 6 hours. And about at 5.5 is when I'll come do all that other stuff. So we'll see you in just a bit. Okay, we are back with our Cheddar Bay biscuits. They are fresh out of the oven, and I have my melted butter with all of the seasoning packet melted in that. And so they look fantastic. I'm gonna grab a spatula because they're kind of hot. Anyhow, I've got the melted butter. It's got the herbs all mixed up in it. You could use a little whisk to do this. I just used a spoon and it mixed it up fine. And then I'm just gonna take that and I'm gonna drizzle it over these buns. And they are ready to go. Okay, I just totally made that whole video and did not show you the overhead view. So all I've done here is we've got everything all nicely melted and I just sprinkled a little bit of this shaved Italian blend cheeses. I get this at my local Publix. I'm sure they have it at other grocers. But this has Parmesan, Romano, and Asiago cheeses in it. You could just use Parmesan. I like the shaved. You could put grated on there, but I just sprinkled a little bit on the top. That's gonna melt in nicely. You'll put this on a plate with your pasta, and because I only made 2 since it's just my husband and myself, I used a whole jar of pasta sauce anyway because I knew I was gonna make enough pasta to have that left over for tomorrow, and tomorrow we can have spaghetti with this leftover sauce. And I don't really care if there's a little bit of extra cheese in it because I'm a cheese girl. So I'm gonna serve this tonight with the chickpea pasta, the Brussels sprouts, and those delicious Cheddar Bay biscuits that you just saw me putting the butter on. So I hope you enjoy, and until next time, we will see you. Have an extraordinary life.